Good morning, children. See, in last class, we had learned about cell, its structure and functions in briefly. Now, today we are going to learn what is a cell, and it means which cell we are going to learn is the living cells, especially typical cell. Why do we call it is a typical cell? Because it having plants are having and animals are having different cell organelles. Okay, maximum cell organelles are similar in both plant and animal cells, except few. What are they? In plant, we will identify chloroplast and a large vacuole. In animals, chloroplast is absent. At the same time, vacuoles are either small in size or absent. So, what is this cell organ? What are the use of this cell organ? Chloroplast helps to conduct the photosynthesis, and vacuole helps to store the whatever synthesized food is there, that either it's a water or starch in their spaces. Okay, this is in 8th class. We have learned about onion peel cells and at the same time checking of cheek cells. So we perform two activities. So what happened? In plant cell we observed a thick cell wall, but in animal cell we observed a thick plasma membrane cell membrane. So under the simple microscope we are able to see more than cell organelles like nucleus. Except nucleus, we are unable to see remaining cell organelles. So, with the help of electron microscope, we are able to see different cell organelles. So, once we will go through that, what are the different cell organelles present in our body or in different living organisms. Okay, student? See, we will go to the outlines only. Why? Because we will discuss this cell organelles only in this after 10th class. In intermediate only, we will learn elaborately of the cell organelles. Okay? Now, so what are the cell organelles present in the inside the cell means? We start with the cell in which living organism is plants. Plants contains a thick cell wall which is composed with the lipids and protein so that it can bend. Means it's a flexible cell. It is a flexible cell. So what happens? This cell avoids entry of pathogens. Entry of pathogens. Pathogens are nothing but disease causative microorganisms. Means this cell wall acts as a skin. How human beings or most of the mammals are having these skins. These plants are also having a skin-like structure called as cell wall. It's the outer layer. Okay, it is a thick in nature. At the same time, it contains lipids and proteins, so that it is flexible. Next, it avoids the entry of pathogens, microorganisms. So most of the plants are attracted, means most of the plants are infected by the pest, either insects. Okay. Now, so that what? So that this cell wall helps to avoid these infections. Now, next, after the cell wall, we will go to cell membrane or plasma membrane. Cell membrane or plasma membrane. What is this? In plant cell, what happens? After the cell wall, thick cell wall, this cell membrane or plasma membrane is thin in nature. The same time, whatever the materials are entered inside the cell, this cell membrane act as a gate. It means it allows the different materials according to the size of the pores, with small tiny holes which are present in plasma membrane. It means it selects the materials according to the need during the activities. So that what happens, this cell membrane is also called as selective permeable. Selective permeable membrane. It acts as a selective permeable membrane. It selects the materials or substances like whether gases should enter or carbohydrates or water. Means based on the need of the cell, it sends the different substance. So that what we call the selective permeable membrane. But in animals, what happens? Cell wall is absent. Cell membrane is thick. So that what happens? So we have a skin. So that what microorganisms are, they don't enter directly into our body. Why? Because we have defense system, immunity system. Next. So what happens? This cell membrane. This cell membrane is thin in nature in plants, and it selects the material, so that we will call selective permeable membrane. And next, it followed by a dense cell fluid called as cytoplasm or cell fluid. Yes. So, if the microorganisms enter through the cell wall, plasma membrane won't help. If it is allows, what happens? This cytoplasm allows these pathogens inside of the cell. So whatever this cytoplasm helps to avoid the dryness of the cell organelles like nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus or Golgi bones or Golgi complex, lysosomes, ribosomes, mitochondria, chloroplast. These are the few cell organs which are present in plant cells. So now, what is the cytoplasm? Cytoplasm is nothing but cell fluid. What is cell fluid? Now, what is the role of this cytoplasm? It avoids the dryness of cell organelles. Means other cell organelles. So what happens is protecting the other cell organelles. So all the cell organelles will flow inside the cell fluid or cytoplasm. So we will learn one by one what is a nucleus and what is the function of the nucleus and what is its structure. Okay, children? See, Schroeder and Shaw are proposed a cell theory, and what is this theory is nothing but whatever the cells are there, they can generate the cells itself. Means they can generate the new cells from its own cells. And later Buddha Vichon change, means he proved that how these cells are generating the new cells. So he said that cells are generating from the pre-existed cells. Now we learned all these things in 8th class, in our lower class. Now coming to our nucleus. In our lower class, we learned about cheek cell. Inside what happened, we observed the dot-like structure. And we said that it is a nucleus. We said that Robert no. He identified under the microscope the black dot-like structure and he named it as nucleus. But he failed to notice its function. Now, whatever. So, what is a nucleus? Nucleus is a oval-shaped body which having envelopes. Unlike the cell, it is also having a small pore and inside it contains a space called as nucleolus. Around the nucleolus it contains nuclear fluid. So it is called as nuclear envelope. This is known as nucleoplasm. This is known as nucleus. And this core is called as nuclear core. What is the role of this nucleus inside the cell? It controls other cell organs so that we will call manager of the cell. Manager of cell. Nucleus is also known as cell controller or manager of cell. Why? Because inside this nucleus contains a genetic material which transfer this material from one generation to another generation. At the same time, it gives the instructions to other cell organs. Means how our principles are. When controls the whole school with a single word in the same way, this nucleus controls the other cell organs. Now what happened? It contains a nuclear envelope, nucleoplasm, means unlike the cell of the cytoplasm is present. This cell organelle nucleus also has nucleofluid. Next, it contains nucleolus. So, nucleolus. Next, nuclear core. What happens? It controls the cell. Beside this nucleus, besides it means after this nucleus, immediately it will be followed by another cell organelle is called as endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum. In generally we will call it is ER. If this controls the cell, whatever the instructions are there along with that, this endoplasmic reticulum obeys. And what happened? This reticulum is there are two types. One is called as a rough endoplasmic reticulum, and writing as ER, and second one is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. How can we differentiate this endoplasmic reticulum into rough and smooth? See, in this cell, what happened? Protein synthesizer is there. The cell organelle is called as ribosomes. If the ribosomes are present in endoplasmic reticulum, that space is called as, or the cell organelle is called as rough endoplasmic reticulum. It means it transports the proteins to cell or else inside the cell organelles only. Next, smooth endoplasmic reticulum not having any ribosomes. So that what happened? Instead of proteins, they are transporting lipids and that is finding minute molecules of fats. Means endoplasmic reticulum is acting as transporter. So it transport the material. See, what is that cell means? Endoplasmic reticulum. It is a very big space which followed the nucleus with a large continuous space-like structures, and if you identify the dot-like structure, means they are ribosome, and that space is called as rough endoplasmic reticulum. Now, in where RER means rough endoplasmic reticulum, we will observe the transport of proteins. In smooth endoplasmic reticulum, we will observe transport of lipids along with a small amount of fats. Okay, next, along with that, means immediately of endoplasmic reticulum, third cell organelle is Golgi apparatus or Golgi complex or Golgi ovaries. So we learned about Golgi complex. So one is a controller of the cell or a manager of the cell. Endoplasmic reticulum is a transporter. The same way Golgi complex also. It's a sac-like structure which contains the space and stores the whatever the materials are present inside the cell organelle and transfer to other cell organelles. Now, we will learn about Golgi complex. The third cell organelle is Golgi apparatus or Golgi complex or Golgi voice. In 1898, Camelo Golgi observed these spaces immediately of the endoplasmic reticulum, and he said that these Golgi apparatus contains the vesicles, means small sac-like structures which allows whatever the packed food, packed materials are, means packed substances are present inside the cell, so it will store and sends to the other cell organelles. So what is this? It is also act as a transporter. At the same time, it will pack the materials. It will pack the materials, means substances. Next, fourth one, lysosome. Lysosome. Next, when the foreign particles like tiny particles are entered inside the cell through the cell membrane, what happens? This lysosome plays a crucial role inside the cell. Why? Because this lysosome, whenever it identified a foreign particle inside the cell organelle, it releases a destructive enzyme. So that what happens? Whatever the particle is present inside the cell, it will digest it by the destructive enzyme. Means it's engulfing itself. Generally, what we call suicides. So these lysosomes are called as suicidal bags. Suicidal bags of cell. Why means it kills itself, means it's sacrificing itself to protect the cell. How? Whenever the tiny particles or a tiny particles or pathogens are entered inside the cell, what happens? These lysosomes immediately release the destructive enzyme, so that what happens? It kills the pathogen or tiny particles and engulf itself, it will die. So, like sacrificing what it is a suicidal act. It is protecting the cell from the unknown particle inside of the cell. Next, immediately this cell organelle, a very important cell organelle is mitochondria. Mitochondria. What is the special of this cell organelle means? It is bean shaped, and it is very minute structure. Though it is very minute structures, inside this cell organelles, it contains a finger folding like structures. Now what happened? These finger folding like structures called as crested and it contains some matchstick-like structures. See, generally we will keep exhausters in our homes to elevate, means to eliminate the unnecessary gases inside the surroundings. In that same way, what happens? These act as a rotator. The head rotates and generates the energy. So what happens? These mitochondria, with the help of cristae, generates the energy and it stores. Whatever the stored energy is there, it sends to different cell organelles to conduct their activities or their functions. So that what you call these mitochondria is known as powerhouse of cell. This what? Powerhouse of what? Cell. We will call powerhouse of cell. See what is the special character? It's a beam shape. You observe inside the electron microscope. When we observe these cell organelles, we will feel very wonder. Why? Because how that cell contains the cytoplasm in the same way, a few cell organelles are having its own fluids. See, unlike the nucleus having nuclear plasm, here also this mitochondria contains a fluid called as matrix. That is matrix. So in this lesson we have an activity. So what is that? We will take a beetle leaf. In German what is called? It's palm leaf. So with the help of forceps, we will peel the upper layers. We will keep under the microscope. We will add a Janus green bee color. Janus green bee color. So that what happens, especially this mitochondria, absorbs the color, elevates a deep green color by when we observe under the electron microscope. So what happens? It generates the energy and it sends that energy to all the cells. So that what happens? The living organisms can perform their activities with this energy. So here what is that energy is nothing but ATP. It stores the energy in the form of ATP. What is the ATP? Adenosine, adenosine triphosphates. So what we got is ATP. Inside the crystal, whatever the matchstick-like structures are there, when it rotating, it hits like the aerators how we keep on sheds in factories. When it rotating, what happens? It generates the energy. In what form is? In the form of ATP. ATP is known as currency of yes. Currency. What is that currency? Yes. Money. Here, what is the money of the cell? Nothing but ATP. Energy. So, this is the special structure is present in mitochondria. What is the shape? Bean shape. Finger-like projection is called as a crystal, and it generates the energy from this crystal. And we will observe the matrix, which are floated the crystal inside the matrix, and it generates the energy in the form of ATP. What is the ATP? Inosine triphosphate, which is known as currency of cell. This cell organelle is known as powerhouse of cell. Nucleus is known as cell manager or control of the cell. Endoplasmic reticulum is known as transporter. Golgi apparatus is known as package and transporter. Lysosome is known as a suicidal bag of the cell. The same the mitochondria is known as powerhouse of the cell. And we will go for the next cell organelle known as ribosomes, plasmids. The sixth cell organelle present in a typical cell is called as ribosomes. Ribosomes are granule-like structures. Granule-like structures. It spreads inside the cytoplasm, and we will identify inside the endoplasmic reticulum also. So, what is this function of the ribosome? These granules-like structures are generate means synthesize the protein so that they will call as protein factory. Proteins factory. So what? It synthesizes the proteins and store the proteins inside the what? The plastic reticulum. So the rough endoplasmic reticulum. What are the synthesized proteins are there? Whatever the lipids and fats are there, they will enter inside the Golgi apparatus and sends these materials to different cell organs to conduct different activities. Next, last and very important, not last, a very important cell organ is known as chloroplast. See, where do you identify this chloroplast? Especially in green leaves, but we will observe this chloroplast means plastids in all plants. Plastids are present in plant cells. See, the plastids are of two types. One is a chromoplastids, means colored plastids, leucoplasts, colorless plastids, chromoplasts and leucoplasts. Chromoplast contains colors like yellow, orange, green. So chlorophyll is present inside the chloroplast. So generally chlorophyll are having different names. Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, chlorophyll C. Generally green plants are having chlorophyll B. Next, leucoplasts are colorless. See, what we will observe in which are non-chlorophyllous, means which are pale green plants are there. No? We will identify this leucoplasts. If the leucoplasts are present, these plants takes the support from the other plants to collect the food. Whatever it is. Plastics are helps to give the color to the plant. At the same time, it helps to generate or to synthesize the food with the help of sun. Generally, what we call photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. See what happens? These plastics, especially chloroplast, conducts the photosynthesis. How? How it conducts the photosynthesis? See, we know that along with the carbon dioxide, water molecules in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, what happens? It gives glucose molecule C6H12O6 and waste materials or end products like water and oxygen. See, this is the photosynthesis which occurs inside the chloroplast. Chloroplast contains the chlorophyll. Now, what is the functioning of this chloroplast? Generally, in our homes we will fix UPS, what we call inverters. See what happens that inverters collect the energy from the what we call households and it stores inside the battery. Inside the battery. That at the same time we will use the solar panels. All the solar plate having different cells. This solar energy, one of the photon energy is present inside the rays, enters into the solar panels. It will collect and sends this energy into the batteries. It means chloroplast traps the sunlight, means traps the photon, solar energy, and helps to conduct the photosynthesis. We will observe only the cell organ under the microscope. Which microscope? Electron microscope. It is electron microscope. Then what is the use of these plastids? So here the ribosome is a protein factories. Proteins factory. Now here the plastids are act as the Synthesizer means photosynthesis. See here the plastids are present only in plants. At last we will learn about vacuoles. Vacuoles are very known as a space, a sac-like structure which helps to store the extra water or else extra food materials for future purposes. Next, what's the vacuole? Vacuole is a sac. Means what? Storage. It stores the food material. Storage, food. So, what is a cell? We learned what is the cell, its structure and function. See, we observe the nucleus. Nucleus contains envelopes and it contains the nuclear plasm. Inside it contains a thread-like structures called as a chromatin or a genetic material, and it also controls the other cell organs. So that we will call it a cell membrane. And next thing, endoplasmic reticulum contains ribosomes. These ribosomes synthesize the proteins and sends into the next what you call cell organelle, that is a Golgi apparatus. Along with this, smooth endoplasmic reticulum stores, generates the what you call lipids and fats and sends into Golgi apparatus. This Golgi apparatus stores the plant material and sends to different cell organs. And next one, we observe different cell organs and its functions. So each and every cell organ having its own functions and general, and we given different names to them. Nucleus, powerhouse of sorry, no, what it is? Control of the cell or memory of the cell. Endoplasmic reticulum, transporter, Golgi apparatus, transporter, ribosomes, protein factories, lysosomes, suicidal bag, mitochondria, powerhouse of cells, plastids, photosynthesis, synthesis of food, especially when because it contains a chloroplast which traps the solar energy and conducts the photosynthesis. The last is the vacuole. The vacuole having a space and it helps to storage food materials like starch at the same time water. So these are the different cell organelles which are present inside the typical cell of plant. Then what are the exceptions in animal cell units? Absence of plastids and absence of vacuoles. The remaining all are present. And the major cell or what are the surroundings of the cell? The thick membrane cell wall is also absent in typical animal cell. Okay, children.